Hi, my name is Mike Stewart, and I am a professional trumpet player and a cigar roller as a hobby, an amateur hobby. When I turned 40 a little while back, I decided I need a vice. I figured crime wasn't a good option. Drugs were probably a pretty bad option. I like beer, but don't need any more of it. So I decided cigars were the best way to go. Something that I could enjoy with my friends, I could enjoy when I was alone, and as things turned out, I could enjoy it as a physical hobby, something I could do with my spare time to occupy my hands, to create something. Being a musician, creating art of some kind is very important to me. It's very fulfilling, and rolling cigars kind of helps fill that need and desire. What I'd like to do today is the first of what should be a few or several more podcast videos, is show you the basic tools that you will need and ones that you might want to use if you decide to become a cigar roller on your own. The first of these tools is what you can kind of see sitting around you, and I guess tool is kind of an odd word for it, but you need a workspace, a flat table. It can be portable. I wouldn't use your dining table because you're going to get stuff on it. I'm going to scratch it up. Something that's big enough that you can sit comfortably with it and still have room for the other materials you will need for rolling cigars. Secondly, you will need either a wooden board, or as I use, a laminated piece of shelving on which to do your cutting and rolling. I use the shelving because it's nice and smooth. It's also very hard, so you don't dig into the wood. If you were used a softer like pine board, which can then make some problems with your leaves when you're rolling them. Perhaps the most important tool that I would say to get, and the one that is the most indispensable, is what's known as a chaveta. C-H-A-V-E-T-A. This is a rounded knife that is used in all aspects of rolling cigars in terms of cutting the leaf and shaping the leaves. And you hold the flat edge. I put some tape here just to give myself a little better grip. And you will take this and you will roll it this way across the cigar. Notice you can make a nice turn, and this would also work very well with the leaf. I'm just going to take a little piece off this leaf here. Let's say I just want to make a smooth edge on my leaf. And there you go. The chaveta helps me do that. It's rounded. It's also very smooth and straight. You can also do just block cutting with it as well if you want to cut down the size of your leaves. Another tool, or rather part of using the tool, is what's called the glue, that which keeps the leaves from unraveling at the ends. This is not glue per se, but it's rather pectin, or the stuff that's put in gelatin, and you just take a little bit of the powder and mix it with some water to the consistency that you like, and then you will use that with your leaves. Another tool that's used is called the capper, and this is what you will put on the very end of your cigar after you've already rolled it and put on the wrapper, and you're trying to give it the nice smooth rounded end. And these are essentially just pieces of copper or brass pipe. You can get different sizes depending on what kind of what size cigar you want to roll. And what you will do is you'll take a leaf and you'll place whatever size capper you're going to use, and you just kind of roll it around. And I'm going to do that on the leaf here and show you what you get. You roll it across like this, and then I would take a cigar, I would put it right in the center of that circle I just rolled, and then just pull the leaf up. And what happens is that little round cap will come out that you will put on top of your cigar, or you can see the hole through the leaf here. And this is not going to be a demonstration right here of the whole rolling process. Just want to give you some ideas of what the tools are and what they do. If you can't get a hold of a chaveta, you actually could use a rolling pizza cutter. That would probably be a little harder to keep sharp, but if you can and it works, great. While I'm thinking about getting the tools, let me suggest these two websites. I'm not affiliated with them, so this is not a promo, but Otoao Cigars is the website from which I get most of my leaf, and it's also where I got my chaveta. Also, leafonly.com. These two sites are both pretty easy to deal with. They have a decent selection of both leaves and tools to use. Also, the next tool that I'm going to talk about, and that is a cigar mold. Now, I don't mean the stuff that might grow on a plant or in your basement in some place damp, but rather the blocks of wood that are of different sizes in which you will place your started cigar body to make it into a smoother cylindrical, or in this case a blunt shape. And you can make very uniform cigars, and you can make many of the exact same size, lengthwise and widthwise. You can see this is a much bigger cigar right here. What you would do is you would take your rolled cigar body. As you can see, this one, it's got the ends are all kind of fuzzy here because I just rolled this, and there's some bumpiness through there. You can see all the bumps in the veins on here. You would then place it in your mold, in one of the trays for the mold, trays of the mold, and you would put your top on it. You would clamp it together. This one uses bolts, or this would then produce cigars that will be a much smoother shape. This one's been cut and smooth. You can see that's a smoother overall line, that the veins have been compressed down. This way, when you put your actual final wrapper on the cigar, you'll have a much smoother and visually pleasing product. Once you have your however many cigars you're rolling are in your mold, you then can place it in what's called a cigar press. Not wholly unlike a book press. Here I have a couple of empty molds, and you will adjust this plate here that pushes down on it, and you have a handle which puts a little extra pressure and holds this into place. This is a fairly expensive piece of equipment. It's kind of old. It's made of iron, and it's very heavy. If you can't get one of these, or don't want to have something that old for a long time, and for quick things, I just use a workout weight, a free weight, a small barbell. About 10 pounds putting on there is really fairly adequate for what we're doing. We're not making factory grade cigars. We're having a good time making cigars for ourselves and our friends, primarily. The last piece of equipment. Again, this is another optional piece, but this is one that really makes the cigars look nice in terms of creating a uniform size and a very clean cut to the end. If you look at this cigar here, the end has been squared off very nicely, keeping the cigar very round, which is what we like. This is called a tuck cutter. Again, a fairly heavy piece of iron through here. I have an adjustable stopper so I can make cigars of the same length consistently. The tape I've just put on here, it came unmeasured, so I know if I want to make 5-inch cigars, I slide my little friend here over to the 5, roughly on the 5. I would place the cigar into the channel where it lays firmly, and then I would just push the blade down, and again giving myself that very nice smooth cut. This was also a fairly expensive piece of equipment. It's actually the most expensive one that I bought, that I had to buy for the hobby. Ran about $200, and I've not found even used ones online for any cheaper. So that's expensive, and when you can use a pair of scissors and cut it. It won't give you as clean and smooth a cut, but again, you're doing this for yourself. It's not a profession. Okay, so that's the basic equipment, what you want to have for rolling cigars. You can substitute other items. I actually use another small pair of scissors for some of the fine, just clipping of the ends of cigars, or if I'm shaping another piece. And if you find something that works for you, great. No one's going to care. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time, and smoke them if you got them.